What is going on, guys? This is Tommy Plays, and today I'm bringing another video on Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and this time it's going to be a multiplayer about multiplayer, and most importantly, how to actually get headshots in multiplayer. So obviously, as you know, and why you're probably here, is you need to get headshots in order to get camos for guns, like, you know, gold and diamond camos, and the other big ones. I don't quite remember the names of the other ones, but they're there, and you do need headshots in the long run to actually get them. They are kind of difficult to get in this game that I found. I feel like I'm having a lot more trouble getting them in this game than in Black Ops 3, but I was able to find a way that I think would best benefit you in trying to get these headshots, and how, you know, I'm going to be giving you the best class setup, the best game mode I think you should play, and all of that, and hopefully I can help you. So first off, before I say anything else, just don't care about your KD. Please don't. Like, your KD, your stats, your ranking, stuff like that, just don't worry about it, because if you do, then, you know, you're just going to go into gunfights with that worry. You're probably not going to aim in the head, because all you're going to think about is surviving, because let's face it, when you aim for the head, you have a higher likely chance of dying, because the head is very small and more difficult to hit. So yeah, just don't worry about that stuff, because if you do, it's just going to hurt you. But anyways, also, I know this may sound a bit obvious, but just aim for the head. Like, I know that just sounds stupid, because, like, obviously you're trying to aim for the head, but just take extra time to put your little red dot or whatever on the head, and even if it means you might die. So it's just, it would just be better off for you. Again, that falls into the don't worry about your KD and stats stuff. But anyways, let's get into some of these tips that I think will help you. So first off is I recommend playing free-for-all. I like free-for-all because you aren't competing against other teammates to get kills. You know, when you go into a gunfight, you don't have to worry about the person behind you killing that person first. And also in free-for-all, anyone you see is an enemy, so you don't have to think, is that an enemy or is it not? You don't have to hesitate, you can just immediately open fire and kill them. There's also a constant flow of enemies. When you're not playing a game mode like free-for-all, a lot of the time you're typically running around, you know, you spawn all the way back in your base, so you have to run all the way back to the enemy spawn and start shooting them there. But in free-for-all, there are people always spawning all around you. You can just sit in one spot for the entire game and continue getting kills. And obviously, if free-for-all isn't working for you and you're just getting irritated playing it, then by all means stop playing it and try to find a game mode that works for you. Free-for-all is just a game mode that I found worked for me, and I'm just stating that if free-for-all is not working for you, then again, by all means, just stop playing it. Because if you're getting really agitated, the best thing for you to do is just find a game mode that does work. Alright, so next thing I have is the actual class setup. So here we go. I will put a picture up on the screen so you can copy it from there, but I will be telling you why I chose these things. So without question, you're going to want to use hollow point, or excuse me if I say this wrong, Faraday slug for energy rifles. Hollow point increases headshot damage, so obviously you're going to want this, because if you can get extra damage in a headshot, that would give you a higher chance of actually getting killed with that headshot. Keep in mind that this attachment is only for assault rifles though. For SMGs, I would probably recommend using a laser sight, because for SMGs you're going to be doing a lot more hip firing than aiming down sights, because obviously SMGs are a CQB gun. You're meant to be up against enemies when using those, and if you're hip firing, you actually have a pretty good chance of getting a headshot, believe it or not. I found it to work quite well in other games. But anyways, next you're also going to want to use either the reflex sight or the elo sight. I find these paint enemies for you. I find those to be a bit distracting. I do not recommend using the iron sights at all, just because you run out of precision. You don't have a lot of precision if you aren't using a sight. I mean, the only time I could think that you wouldn't want to use a sight is if you're going for, like, I don't know, say like a deatomizer or something, because then precision doesn't really matter, you can just shoot them in the chest. But for this, getting headshots, reflex side or elo side, I believe, is the best way to go. Next thing you should use is foregrip. Foregrip reduces the recoil, which in turn will make you more accurate. If you can become more accurate, you're going to want to take it. Foregrip is probably one of the most essential in this class setup, just because if you can be more accurate at those longer ranges and get headshots at those longer ranges, then you'll benefit a lot. So don't use a lethal. I never really find myself using lethals anyways, and if I do, I never get kills with them, so I find them pointless. But for tactical, I would recommend Cryo Mind. You know, just go set up in a little room or something. Don't be afraid to camp either. Just don't be afraid to camp when doing this. It really doesn't matter. But you know, just get in a little room, put a cryo mine on one doorway, and watch the other doorway. And if your cryo mine goes off, what it will do is it'll slow down enemies, so you can turn around and shoot them in the head because they're slowed down and they can't really move that well. Alright, so now let's get into the perks. As for perks, the first one I recommend is Recon. Recon will give you a larger map, so you can see more players when they're shooting and stuff. I really like Recon. Like, even without getting headshots, I think it's a really good perk, because if you know where enemies are before you like go around a corner or something, then you have a higher chance of getting a headshot, obviously. The second one is Ghost, so you stay off the radar. It's going to be a lot harder to get headshots if people know where you are, so that kind of falls into the Recon thing. You want to know where they are, but you don't want them to know where you are. So I would highly recommend using Ghost along with Recon. The third perk is Tracker. For the third perk, I guess you can kind of use whatever. I just like Tracker because there are the occasions where you see the footprints and you start running behind them, and you can turn a corner knowing that there's going to be someone there, and you can just kind of pre-fire. It doesn't happen too much, but I do like it, so you can use that if you want to. That one isn't really that much of a necessity as other ones. But the last perk I do believe is a necessity. I do believe will benefit you a lot, and that is Marksman. What Marksman does is it reduces flinch when you're being shot. So when you are aiming for the head, you don't have to worry about, you know, compensating for flinch because you don't have any flinch. Yeah, I think this is very good, and I definitely would recommend you really use this perk, if anything. I think you would benefit so much from using this perk. Outside on the head, and don't worry about your KD ratio, ranking in the game, stats, anything, because it will just hurt you more than it will help you. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope you found this really helpful. I got the NV4 gold. As you can see in this gameplay, I am using the NV4 gold, and yeah, I'm starting to work on the R3K. Getting camos is one of the biggest things I love doing in Call of Duty, because I felt like it gave me something to work for, because I never really cared too much about prestige, except now I'm gonna have to prestige because, of course, of the classic weapons. But yeah, anyways, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. This game is starting to grow a bit more on me as I play it more. I'm not saying that I like it. I still think it's a horrible game, I'm not gonna lie, but that's for a different video, not the gameplay itself, but just the stuff that they put in it. But and again, that's just for another video. But I hope you found this helpful. You know, go out there, get those camos, get those headshots, all of that. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.
Damn, son.